one raises the puppies, they have to get used to everything. Stairs and different surfaces and different environments, like you can see the theater, and I have stories about the theater and the various things, because you don't know what the person is going to do when they have the dog. You don't know if they're working or they're in school or they're retired or they got something. So you just do every eventuality, I think, right?
Yes.
That's right. So, and when you first get a guide dog is when you first get a puppy. When you first get a guide dog, you're trying to figure this new dog out. The first time is especially hard because you've never had one before and you don't know if you can trust walking with it and you don't know what to do. And anyway, but by the time I had my third dog, I thought I was pretty much a veteran. And and I had her for a couple of months and everything was great. And she was a golden retriever, a wonderful dog, very calm, very steady. And I felt really good about that because the dog I had just before her was extremely distracted by animals. That's why she didn't work too long, because she jumped at the fish tank at work. She jumped at the birds. She jumped and I worked in a nursing home, so everything was on wheelchair face level. So it was also dog face level. So she did all of that. She jumped at everything and jumped and pulled me and everything. So she didn't last too long. So I was so relieved to get this dog. Seemed like my first dog, worked like a guide dog should. And about 2 months after I brought her home, in the middle of winter, I was walking along near a set of outside stairs, and they were kind of heated, or they had electric cables near them, and obviously not wired correctly, and my dog stepped on electricity. Ooh. And I didn't know what it was, but I never heard a dog scream like that. Well, we managed to get past it, and up the stairs we went. And we were out the whole day, and I thought everything was fine, and I guess so did she, because she seemed okay. And then we got home, and it was about 7 or 8 at night, and it was dark, and it was -20, and we get about 3 paces from our stairs going up to the house, and she jumped back, and she wouldn't go to the stairs. We did it again, and she did it again. So I thought, well, she's a big dog, about 60-something pounds, and I cannot carry her up these stairs, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I could call someone with my cell phone, but I thought, oh wait, maybe I didn't even have a cell phone, I don't know. But I thought, well, I got to do something, so I sat on the very bottom step, and I made this leash nice and long, and I talked to her, and I had treats in my pocket, and I put a treat in my hand, and I kept saying, it's okay, you can do it. 20 minutes took me to get her. Climb the stairs. And when she got inside, she went and slept in the closet. So I didn't know what to do. It was Saturday night, of course, because then you can't call your school and say, this is what I'm faced with, I'm not sure what to do. So of course it's Saturday night, and then I have all Sunday before I can really talk to a trainer. But I thought, well, I'm going to leave her in the closet. I don't know what to do, but she came out in the middle of the night, came out of the closet, went over by the bed and lay down. So the next morning I thought, in order to get her outside to pee even, I have to go down those stairs and up those stairs. So I thought, well, I'm going to pretend like it's the greatest thing in the world we're doing this, even though I felt terrified. And I thought, if she can't do stairs, I've only had her 2 months, I'm going to have to go back again and get another job. So I took her favorite treats out of the fridge, baby carrots, and I put them in my pocket, a whole whack of them. And I went outside, and she went outside fine, went down the stairs fine, and we went and she had a pee, and then we walked around the block and came back, and as we were going back, I was like, oh, let's go home, it's so exciting, And we get, foot away, and a little bit of a jump back, and I was like, and she, oh, I'm sorry. That was fake. That was
treat.
So I did that, and she slowly kind of came, but she kind of jumped back, but then she came. Every 2 hours I went outside that day. I went up the stairs, I went down the stairs. I pretended like it was the most fun I ever had, even though I was just terrified and I didn't know what to do if she didn't do it. But you're supposed to pretend like you're so happy about this situation. So by the next morning when I called the school, they said I was doing exactly the right thing. And I was lucky. It was lucky that I had stairs at my house, because if it had been days before she did more stairs, she might not have done it. And she did work her way through it. She got through it, and she worked with me for 9 years. And then she lived with me as a retired woman of leisure. And she liked it when Tulia came. Well, she didn't actually at first like it when Tulia came, because when Tulia came, Tulia was not quite 2, and she was very rambunctious and wanted to play, and Gia was like, what did you do to me? Oh, so the first day I said, let's go for a walk together. So Tulia on my left with her harness working, and Gia on my right hand side, and she's like, oh, you this walking kind of stiff stuff? And oh, that's all right, this dog can be here, that's okay. So that's what story came into my head when Karen told me about the stairs. And so that's why I told you the story about the stairs.
So that's what I think you can see, and probably from the literature you understand that my paintings represent something that happens in the initial training process. And then Kim is telling a story, in a sense, how it relates to a working guide dog, an incident with stairs and the working guide dog, or the theater and working guide dog, or a play and the working guide dog. So that's how they correspond. So Kim's story isn't about my set of staircase with Stanley, but about her experiences with her.
So something that relates to something in the future. And that way we've got, different art forms going at the same time, not the same.
So Karen, was Stanley afraid of the stairs too?
Yes. So Stanley, well, he didn't have an electric shock though, so it wasn't that bad. But what happened with Stanley was that one of the guide dog rules is that the guide dog the puppy must be twice the height in one step before he's allowed to go up and down the stairs on his own, and that's to help his hip so he doesn't injure his joints. And so that was okay, because we could carry him up and down, because he was pretty lightweight at the beginning. But when he became the right size that he could walk up and down himself, he didn't mind walking out, but he was terrified of going down
Your
the
stairs
stairs.
are pretty steep.
And they're very steep, and it's just a little place
And they're
that
not
we live.
carpeted, right?
No, and they're not carpeted, so he was afraid, so we had to carry him. He was getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And especially in the middle of the night, if you had to take a puppy out, down, my balance isn't great, and maneuvering down a narrow staircase with a heavy puppy it was memorable for me, so I had to do a painting of that.
And how did you get him to do it?
Actually,
both?
Well, it's funny because I know one of the trainers we had came and brought a dog, but it was too soon. And he would follow the other dog down the stairs, but that was too soon. So actually he then worked with our supervisor, and you're right, it was with Kibble and he did get over that.
Did Julie go up the stairs when he wasn't going up there? I don't remember. But he was too
no,
young.
I don't know. No, but that wasn't a problem. But then, he developed a fear then of open staircases, and it's important that guide dogs know how to go maneuver up and down fire escapes, especially. And he was terrified.
And the stairs up into the plane, those open metal.
All of those.
And all of those.
Yeah. And so with
terrified
Stanley,
of it myself.
so he developed a fear of open staircases where you can see through. And again, we worked with our supervisor, and she took us to shopping centers where they have lots of open staircases. Often in Saint Laurent shopping centers, make sure you have open staircases, and him going up and down, up and down, up and down with treats and things.
But even still, some working dogs don't like. There's things they don't like, and you can't. You can deal with it, but you just understand. My first dog was scared of elevators that had the glass. And she was okay if you were on the ground floor and you went up, but then sometimes when you were on the a high floor to go down, she'd start to walk in, and then it looked like you were gonna fall out or so. I don't know. So I would just put my hand on her face and just turn her back to the glass and say, "Oh, it's okay. We're back up. We're in the elevator," and then she'd be fine. But it was just a sort of a looking thing, I think, that you wouldn't want to see.
And that's what some dogs are afraid of, elevators. I know we take Stanley to the National Gallery because they have glass elevators at the National Gallery, and we take him and practice going up and down those elevators.
Yeah. But dogs are quirky, so they're going to have stuff they like and don't like, regardless of. If it's a real phobia, they probably won't make it, but I have found that all my dogs have things that are quirky, and they do or don't do or don't like it. Like Tulia hates the rain a little bit. And she'll work in it, but she's not impressed with it, so she'll kind of say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" The faster you go, But she loves the sun, so like, sun but my previous dog hated the heat, so she wasn't nuts for the sun. She didn't mind the rain. I don't know, I think you just read, it's the same with the puppies, right? Your two have been very different.
Yeah, all completely different.
So you kind of have to figure them out.
Yeah,
And they have to figure you out, I guess.
yeah, that's right. So I think Stanley has arrived. Did anybody
Stanley's
notice
arrived?
Stanley?
Oh,
Stanley's
I
arrived.
guess he's out the front.
now he has to be out there because he has been sick,
Yeah, he had a
lung
lung
infection.
infection.
So we're just, he's
And
not allowed to
he's
be
been
with
on
other dogs
antibiotics,
yet.
and until he's finished his course of antibiotics next week, he can't come nose to nose with another dog. So, and he and Julie
Julia
play
quite
together.
love each other, but.
So,
Oh, too
when-
bad.
so when he sees Julie, he just thinks play, even if she's
And
working.
poor Karen, they came to hear me do storytelling one time, and Julie was there, of course, and Stanley was there, and he was crying.
Oh, he didn't understand why.
And he's like, why can't I play with that girl? And Julie's like, oh, geez. Look at him, he's so badly behaved. I'm just laying here being good, and he's like, why is he being aggravated to me? No, but she loves him too, but he's young.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So she gets tired of him at times, like she'll say, okay, that's enough. That's enough of you.
And when she has her harness on,
Yeah.
are you allowed to touch?
No,
No. Excellent.
does that mean she's working?
Uh-huh.
So what I always tell the kids in school is like, it's like a uniform, like a policeman or like one of these people, and they're concentrating, and if you're concentrating on something, you don't want people like going at your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, Julie's very flirty though, she looks at people like,
Yeah, those eyes.
yeah, Julie, I'm proud, everybody does it.
She
But
stares.
she stares, and she's funny. She's funny. She decides where we should sit in places, like coffee shop. If you go there, the next time you go there, she wants you to be in the same seats. And I thought she's so good. When I first got her, I was like, she always finds me an empty table. It's so great. And I was in the car bridgehead near us once, and the woman said, "Your dog is so funny." I said, "What?" She said, "Oh yeah." Said she decides where she wants to sit. There might be people. I said, there's people? Yeah, but she stops and she does her face, like stares and looks pathetic, like, please, I need to sit there. But she doesn't show me, she just rolls her eyes and moves her little face, wags her tail, and look, and they're like, oh, sorry, but they moved their stuff. Then she guides me to the chair. So I called the school and I said, what should I do about this? They said, well, she's smart enough to do that, then just let her do it. He's a funny girl. But yeah, when the dog is working, it's always good to ask, because sometimes if they know you and they're working and you've patted them when they're working, they could like pull you over or bump someone into something because they're focusing on that. So it's always good to ask. But she's very different when who was patting her out before?
Yeah.
Out of harness. She's very different. She's very waggy. Like I'll show you, she can be waggy. Julie, can you take hands?
How old is she?
She's 6. But she thinks she's a...
Beautiful.
What?
Oh, hello. Hello.
She's been hearing all her.
Oh, there you go. Now you got the tummy. There we go.
You all have to stay here all day.
Now she made a friend.
No, all day you get to stay here and pat her. That's good.